Hi everyone, I'm just making a short video regarding the NikkieTutorials I'm Coming Out video that she aired on January 13th, 2020. This is social commentary because I'm genuinely perplexed. I've been a fan for several years. I'm sure most of you have as well. You have her video here in the background and a couple of minutes in. I reviewed this video several times and I've taken a generous amount of notes here because I'm both excited for her and confused by all this at the same time. I honestly also feel terrible for her fiance, and I'm genuinely sad that she felt she was backed into a corner or she was pushed into a corner where she was blackmailed into having to talk about this. That neither of those things are cool. So let's get into what this video is all about here, guys. Let's look at the NikkieTutorials I'm Coming Out video that she uploaded January 13th. Like I was saying, I don't think it's really nice for anyone to be blackmailed or lied to or deceived or coerced into doing or saying anything. But in a sense, she blackmailed her fiance by being forced to tell him. So it sounds like whoever she was blackmailed into making this video about wasn't her fiance, obviously. So someone who wasn't even as close as her fiance knew about her past, except her fiance didn't. So I just find that really perplexing and really confusing because I really trusted this person, and I'm not hating, and obviously her sexuality and her identity really has nothing to do with me. I just find it weird that she would have withheld this all this time, particularly since 2016. Trans is Beautiful has been on the front page and headline and kind of selling point of literally everything. So for the past 4 years, there's been plenty of opportunity to bring this up. So let's get into why I'm having a hard time understanding this video here, guys. I won't be playing the video. I just wanted this in the background so that you know that I'm watching it, and I've watched it. Obviously, she's the main theme here, so I think this is important for her to be in the background for you to see. And also, it has 31 some odd million views as well, so I don't want to keep giving it more views. And I'm sure you've already seen it. And this is a commentary that is directed to both the trans community and the not trans community. It's just for everybody. So early on in the video, she talks about being under the threat to declare her trans identity. That's sincerely not cool. No one should be threatened to do anything. And then she also mentions around the 30-second mark that labels are not important. I find that insincere, right? Labels are important, and the reason why they are is because she chose the label woman and not trans woman, and that was important to her, right? So if labels aren't important, why not just be honest then? So I find that insincere. Whether or not she's saying that, anyone who insists that labels aren't important, but I'm going to make sure you see me as this label, as woman, as opposed to trans woman, labels are really important then, right? At the 1 minute mark, she is talking about just being herself. You are you, I am me. Labels and distinctions aren't important. They are important. Women are not trans women. Trans women are not women, right? That's the reason why you are a trans woman. That's the reason why you had this secret. Any woman in your place would not have had this secret. So these are really important distinctions. They don't deserve discrimination. They don't deserve hate. They don't deserve violence. Don't get this twisted. But I think by not being honest or telling the truth about something and then insisting labels aren't important, while choosing a label for yourself and wanting everyone around you, including your own fiance, to see you as this label, very insincere. Maybe it was just confusing. I don't know, but I would really I want people to question these, both what I'm saying and what she's saying, right? This is just social commentary. It's just my opinions and my thoughts about what I'm hearing her say. So around the 1 minute mark, she is talking about being born in the wrong body. This is a really common theme within the trans advocacy community, and I find it racist and ableist minimally. It is unbelievable to me that anyone would go around. No other advocacy group says that they were born in the wrong body. There is no Black activist. There is no able um, um, individual who deals with ability issues who has ever said, I'm born in the wrong body. Fix this. This is really bizarre psychology to insist that you're born in the wrong body. I'm not saying she is the only one saying this. I'm saying the trans community insists that they're born in the wrong body, and that is both racist and ableist. It does not take much thought or time to consider why it's racist and ableist. It also, there's no such thing. How can you be born in the wrong body? You're born in exactly the body that you were born into, and then you deal with life. There are people who are born without limbs, for God's sakes. You don't think that they feel like, you know, they don't advocate for themselves in the public eye because they were born in the wrong body? I just think that's wild to do that, and it's wrong, and it's insensitive to do that. She talks at the 140-minute mark around the timing, right? She didn't know when it was going to be the right time. As I said earlier, I think, you know, trans is beautiful. At least that sort of ideology has been in the forefront of every media outlet since 2016, maybe a little bit earlier than that. There's been plenty of opportunity. She's had Gaga on her show. She's had gay, lesbian, other trans people on her show. There's something insincere about that. I think she didn't know what the right time was. This is my opinion, because she hadn't told her fiance and didn't know how to bring it up. And again, that's concealment and, you know, borderline deception. That's just weird. And I genuinely feel sorry that she felt like she was had to put herself in that position to do that. And I also feel bad that her fiance is now in the position to cope with this new understanding, this reality that she's revealed. Just around the 2-minute mark, she's talking about I am me, you are you. Cool. You know, I'm me too, right? But being yourself means to be authentic. It means to not lie or conceal. I don't necessarily think that all trans individuals have to go around being like super proud of who they are and being super out and in your face necessarily. Like, I get not wanting to tell everybody, but honestly, girl, the person closest to you, the person you are about to marry, that's crazy that you kept that from him. Because that is what a lie is. That's telling a lie. And it's also another reason why labels are important. The reason why you concealed it from us is because you labeled yourself something you weren't. And you also, it's just weird. Anyway, so around the 2-minute mark, the power of me, the power of you, you get to write your own story, totally, but it's meaningless. That narrative doesn't mean anything. You get to write your own story. Okay, well, okay. Around the 2.5-minute mark, she's talking about life without any restrictions. Living life without any restrictions. I'm going to say straight up, Nikki, that's just bad advice. Living life without any restrictions means that you're in this position today because you did that. And I'm really shocked that you would even encourage other people who may be experiencing trans dysphoria or trans dysmorphia, or even trans identity issues, or even playing around with the notion of it. It's really important to live within the restrictions and the confines of reality, right? And honesty. So it's how you wound up in this position, and I just think it's bad advice. A little bit further into the 2-minute mark, you're talking about the human condition, feeling out of place and misunderstood. You talk about being out of place and misunderstood. My reaction to that is that that's the human condition. What Nikki here suggests about being out of place or misunderstood is actually the human condition, okay? It's really not unusual. You don't have to be trans to feel out of place or misunderstood. Human beings go through this, so this is not unique to the trans community, fortunately or not. 3 minutes and 11 seconds, she's talking about accepting and respecting each other. Again, these are nice qualities to exhibit in your daily life. These are nice attributes. These are positive attributes to have in your personal and professional life, Nikki, but you lied. You lied. And I don't even, as your audience, I don't even care that you lied to me. I feel really strongly that if you're going to say things like respect and accept one another, why did you lie to your fiance? That is wild to me. It's almost, I hope you have, maybe this was a reckoning. Maybe you didn't realize all this before making this video. Fair enough. Maybe this is all brand new to you, that it's good to accept and respect each other, and this is new to you now. I don't think that's true, but I will let you have that because I just feel like there's a little bit of wordplay here and cognitive dissonance going on here. I think that if you're going to say accept and respect each other, you just can't go around lying to people. And you really have to be authentic if you're looking for authenticity. It's, honesty is the best way to do that. Around the 3.5 minute mark, she's talking about hair color, height, expressions. This does not mean that you are something. I was in a play, and in the play I was a doctor, and I felt like a doctor, and I acted like a doctor, and I spoke like a doctor, but guess what? I'm not a doctor. So there are, and back to the word restrictions, living without restrictions. We need these restrictions, or else anyone can just be anything at any time, and lots of people can get hurt, as you're experiencing right now, Nikki, as you're experiencing. We really need to be honest about this stuff, and I'm really hoping the trans community especially takes a lot of helpful advice away from this video with regard to what she's going through currently and how she went about it, and the mistakes that she's made. Around the 4:35 minute mark, she always thought she was a girl. This is really troubling. It's insulting, and I really don't appreciate it as a woman to have a feminine gay boy who likes makeup to suggest that he's female because he's effeminate and gay. I wore trousers and had my hair short and played with trucks and mud too, but I'm not a boy. Okay, so these are gender stereotypes. You will always be male. You transitioned into a trans woman, and that's wonderful. Obviously, I'm happy for you. I'm a big fan of you. I don't care about whether you're trans or not. I don't care about that part. What I do care about is the fact that you concealed this from people that you say you cared about and loved. And yes, it does make me look at you differently. I think that feeling like a girl, no matter what that means to a man, is sexist and misogynist, and I really wish your mother had known better as well. I feel in some way that your mom, God bless her heart, and for the both of you, you did your best and you did what you thought was right. So again, no hate, like I'm not judging that, but I do think that there's an element of your mother was a grown woman who, allowed you to take life-altering drugs when you were 14 in order to transition. And I really strongly feel that parents who do that are helping to construct the child of their dreams. And I think so much of that, again, this is just my opinion, so much of that can be considered projection, right? And possibly worse. So I'm not sure what to think about that your mom allowed that to happen or didn't wait until you were at least 18, for heaven's sakes. That's just, and there are doctors and there are clinics doing this to children now. This is very common. Another one of my major hopes here is that mothers, families of children who believe that they're trans really don't follow this line of thinking and they do wait until their children are at least 18 or over before introducing drugs and surgery, that's a lot to put a child through. And God knows what you went through. Nobody knows what you went through except the people closest to you. And what a heavy burden to carry. So I honest to God feel bad for what you had to go through in private and feeling like you had to conceal that, Nikki, because I feel very strongly that whoever was supporting you all this time would have supported you anyway because of your realness and authenticity. I think Jeffree Star is a really good example of that as well. This man has never lied about who he is, and is famous because and possibly in spite of it. So let's keep going. The 5-minute 49-second. She's talking about, women's clothes, grade school. It was confusing to the other kids. Yeah, I mean, it's clothes, right? You had long hair and you wore some dresses and, maybe you were using a feminine name at the time. Maybe it wouldn't have been confusing if people were just honest, right? This is a little boy who wants you to call him Nikki and likes wearing dresses. All the power to you, right? So now we're talking about something that could be considered homophobia as well. Why aren't gay men allowed to wear dresses and long hair and makeup? Why can't you do that? Again, Jeffree Star does it. So anyway, at the 6-minute 18-second mark, she's talking about living as a woman because she was trapped, angry, and dealt with a feeling of why me. Again, this is so insulting. This is so insensitive to what girls go through, to what people born with debilitating physical conditions go through, to what people who are born black or brown or in extreme poverty, for heaven's sakes. This could be considered classist thinking as well. This whole why me and born in the wrong body thing. Trans community, listen, my hands are together. I'm praying for you to wrap your heads around why you need to stop suggesting that you were born in the wrong body and this whole why me. Stop that. It's not helpful and it's insensitive to what every other person who is born in the world has to deal with. You're not as unusual as you might think you are, or going through things that no one else can understand. My God, talk to somebody who was born in extreme poverty. So much of it is attitude. So much people were born with no limbs, for God's sakes. You don't think they thought they wish they weren't born that body? I mean, come on. But guess what? It's never part of their advocacy. No one in those communities in rights for disabled people, for example, would ever dream of saying, why me? Or I must have been born in the wrong body. Nobody says that but the trans community. So I'm asking that you take yourself to task for it, just because it doesn't make sense and it's insulting to literally anyone who can't do anything about their body and how they're seen in the world. And they have to live with that, and they have to have strength of character and find talents and gifts and the beauty in some of that loss or in some of that uniqueness, right? So around the 7-minute mark, she's talking about living in denial and lying to those closest to herself, which again is really, really sad. I feel sad that you feel that you had to lie about that, but at the same time, you could have helped others all these years. You could have helped so many people all these years through this struggle. So that was a real missed opportunity by being inauthentic about the truth. Around the 7.5-minute mark, we are listening to her say that she can't close off her past for good. What she's really saying there, or what is meant by anyone saying I can't close the past off for good is I can't lie forever. It's just amazing the word salad being used here to express this situation. Now, is she under duress and she's sort of pulling this all together out of the blue because it was time sensitive? Probably, right? So, I mean, I will give you that, Nikki. And obviously, I really hope this is obvious by now. This is no hate. I'm not discriminating. I want nothing but the best for you. I'm actually very, very happy that you can get this off your chest. I'm sad that you were backed into a corner to do it, but I'm genuinely happy for you that you're finally able to embrace exactly your truth, and all of us can sort of breathe a sigh of relief, like, oh my God, now we know you are authentic. You are telling the truth. You talk about the relationship with Dylan around the 8.5 minute mark till, I guess, around 10 minutes. It's super sad. It is super sad to listen to. You know, you moved really fast into your relationship. You trusted each other. Trusting each other is really scary, you said. But listen, anyone in a relationship, anybody in a relationship. So in other words, the human condition is that getting close to someone in an intimate relationship is really scary. Trust is scary. The fact that Dylan trusted you as much as you trusted him and thought he was in good hands, now knowing that you full well lied to him about something incredibly serious, is just extremely disappointing. And there's no other way to put it. Like, you lied to him. You expected the best from him and you lied to him. It's just not fair. You wish you had told him sooner, but you were afraid to lose him. So that is trapping, right? That's called a trap. And I think that if the trans community, especially trans women in general, want that label to stop, if you want to stop being called traps, which I believe is a slur, I don't even think it's a nice thing to say. But you got to stop lying to people, right? The reason why it's a term, hopefully there's a nicer word for it, but the reason why it's used is because you're tricking people. And there's videos, and I've seen them, and hopefully they get called out more and more. There's so many videos now with trans women. They're proud of this. They go on dates with the guy didn't know they were trans, but it's too late. The guy's in love. They're all in love now. And that's gross. Straight up. That's just gross. Don't do that. Don't trick people. Don't lie to people. If you want other people to accept you exactly as you are, you have to start with yourself. You have to be the one doing that yourself, guys. So this is just a tricky situation. I just feel so bad for everyone involved right now. Again, I'm really happy for Nikki because you're embracing yourself. I hope that your fiance sticks with you and can wrap his head around this. Not even the fact that you're trans, the fact that you lied, swear to God, I'm sure that's what he's probably more upset about, frankly. That's what I'm more conflicted and perplexed about, is the concealment, the inauthenticity. So, yeah, let's keep going on here. I just have a couple more things to say about this. She does mention really clearly, and she makes a point of mentioning very clearly, and for this I was grateful to see, around the 10-minute, 50-second mark, that you have to tell the person you love. The earlier, the better. Make sure you're safe. I mean, what does that mean, make sure you're safe? I guess a lot of people are questioning that, but tell the person the sooner the better. Yeah, great advice. Great advice. Don't keep it from people. I really hope the trans community, trans women in general, are paying attention to this, particularly with someone you love. If you love somebody, guys, you got to be honest. You have to be honest. Because you want the same thing from your partner. Because you know how much it would hurt for that person to lie to you. Terrible thing to do to somebody. It was a secret for 11 years while the whole time you were on YouTube. I mean, that's intense. That's super intense. And hopefully you can see now 11 years later, regrettable. Around the 11-minute 50-second mark, you are talking about you are you and being proud of who you are. Yeah, we can't control what other people think of us, right? We can only tell the truth, and then our tribe comes with us, or they exit. That part's not up to us. Also, trying to make everyone happy is exhausting, and trying to fulfill a role or pretend to be something you're not is incredibly exhausting. So around the 12-minute 50-second mark, she mentions that she's always wanted to see herself as a woman, and this was her way out. In other words, her way out was to transition from male to trans woman. I just think it's still lying. I think you can find your way out in transition and still tell your story. I just don't think lying is the answer. So I also want to mention here as well that most people are bullied as kids. I don't understand why the trans community thinks it's unique to them. It's not. Me and I would say 95% of my peer group all my life were teased at all stages by their family, their friends, coworkers, all kinds of things, guys. So grow a backbone, get some self-respect, know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and just build those strong self-reserves and a positive self-attitude, and then just tell the truth, right? That would be my advice here. And then she finishes off really by suggesting that around the 14-minute mark that she was blackmailed into doing this. I really want that person to be taken to task. I don't think anyone who blackmails anyone should get away with it. So Nikki, I hope you have a great lawyer, and I hope that you lawyer up and you find some remedy to that blackmail situation. That is super gross. I wish that had never happened. You should never have been backed into a corner to come out, and I'm so sad that you did. This breaks my heart in so many ways. Even though I'm really happy that you came out, at the same time, it's wrong what they did. So I hope that you got a lawyer. I sincerely believe that you're a sweetheart. I followed you for a long time. I'm making this video because I care, okay? I care about what you're saying. I care about what you did. I care about you. And I'm wishing you the best. I really am. So to you and Dylan, all the best, my friend. And I look forward to seeing your next video, which I'm sure is going to be all about makeup again, because that's really, let's be honest, that's why we're all here. So from just one fan to one of the best YouTubers that the internet has, take excellent care, Nikki. Thanks everyone for listening and watching today. I hope that you understand that I'm just trying to make sense of this perplexing situation. And leave your comments below. Let's start a dialogue. Obviously, let's try to keep this really fair and respectful, honest, and compassionate. Okay, everybody? So until next time, thanks so much for tuning in. I will see you in the near future, folks. Bye for now.